Yeah, some guys can just walk into a room instantly and draw people in, while others, yeah, they fade into the background, even if they have great stories to tell. Now, the difference is not in what they say, but it's in how they say it. Yeah, and there's an art to storytelling there, and the art of storytelling is a secret weapon. It's the secret weapon that the most charismatic people, socially intelligent people, emotionally intelligent people, the most attractive men use. Yeah, and in this master class, because it's going to be a master class, you're going to discover how to deliver your stories with impact so that you're not just heard, yeah, by the girl that you are dating, but you're also remembered, that you're also felt, that you're also desired, that you are sought after. So, what can you expect? Well, you are going to learn the psychology and the science behind captivating storytelling. I'm going to talk about the pillars of impactful delivery and the practical steps to transform your stories from forgettable to magnetic. Yeah, and for each of these pillars, I'm going to give you a few in-depth explanations. I'm going to give you real-life examples, and I'm going to give you a few actionable steps, steps that you can practice immediately. Yeah, so by the end of this training, or this master class rather, you're going to have to, well, you're going to be able to turn any social setting into your stage. Yeah, and make the woman that you like, the woman that you're dating, and everyone else want to be a part of your story. Now, for the ones who don't know who I am, my name is Rink. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from Holland. And I have been teaching and mentoring guys since 2009. And I've helped men go from being overlooked to being the center of attention simply by mastering the art of storytelling. Yeah, so if you want to be seen as charismatic, interesting, and socially intelligent, this training is for you. Now, let me first introduce you to Max. Yeah, let's call the guy Max. I think Max is a cool name. Max was the classic nice guy. Yeah, you would say he was a nice guy. He was smart, he was kind, but he would always blend into the background. And he would try to involve himself and share stories on dates or at parties, but people would lose interest and women would politely nod before moving on. Now, after learning how to deliver his stories with impact, everything changed. Yeah, Max became the guy that people actually wanted to listen to. Yeah, he became the man that people were drawn towards and the women actually leaned in for. And he became the friend that everyone wanted to have at their table, wanted to have at their gathering. Now, if you've ever felt like Max, first blending into the background and desiring to be more on the foreground, this masterclass will show you how to flip the script and become magnetic. Now, again, for the ones who are here for the first time, there's a training I already recorded last week, which was storytelling part 1. Yeah, so this is part 2. Go back to that other training so that you know why we are diving a little bit deeper into this training. Let's start with pillar number 1. The hook, for all you marketing savvy guys out there. The hook is a very important part of your story. Because it's the opening. It's what you say to grab people's attention right away. Yeah? The opening of your story is everything, especially in a world of short attention spans, especially now with everybody has TikTok brain and we all have these endless distractions. You have just a few seconds to grab her attention. Yeah, especially when you are in a social setting and you're speaking to people. Yeah, you're being social. You're not trying to pick up. You're being social. You have only a few seconds to grab her attention. So a strong hook is like the opening scene of a great movie. Yeah, it pulls people in. It will pull her in, and it makes her want to know what is going to happen next. So the hook can be like a bold statement. It could be a provocative question. Yeah, I like asking provocative questions. It could be a surprising fact. Yeah, but see it like this is your chance to spark curiosity and set the emotional tone for what is to come. We know from evolutionary psychology, yeah, that our brains are wired to pay attention to novelty and to potential threats or rewards. Now, a great hook triggers this exact ancient mechanism, yeah, making her focus on you and your words. So it signals that you are not just another boring guy. You're someone with something interesting to say. Yeah? It's important to understand. Now, a hook also sets you apart from the crowd. Yeah, let's see it like this. Most men, when they're in a social setting and they try to be social, like I applaud for guys that try, but what you have to understand is that most men start with some things, like, so yesterday I went to work and, you lose people when you start like that. Instead, imagine opening your story with something like, you won't believe what happened to me on the subway this morning on my way to work. There you have it. That's already a great hook. You won't believe what happened to me on the subway on my way to work this morning. You won't believe what happened to me. And then you start with your story. That hook will automatically grab people's attention. Or, what else do we have? Have you ever had a moment where you thought, this is it. I am done for. Instantly, you are more intriguing. Like, let's dive into the psychology of this. Have you ever had a moment where you thought, just that question alone makes people think and pay attention? Have I ever had a moment where I thought, what? What exactly? What is he going to say? Yeah, that's what you want to trigger. That's what you want to start your story off with. That is a great hook. Guys, have you ever had a moment where you guys thought, I am done for? This is it. Let me tell you what happened. And now you can share your story. See it like this. The hook is your invitation to an adventure, to bring those people that you're talking to on an adventure with you. Yeah, and it also promises that what's coming after the hook is worth their attention, is worth her attention. Most guys start with boring hooks. So they are automatically perceived as boring. But when you master the art of the hook, you automatically become the man that people in general want to listen to. Yeah, so how can you trigger it? How can you trigger a great hook? To create a great hook, start by thinking about the most surprising, so the most surprising, the most emotional, or the most unusual part of your stories. So when you want to share a story, again, think about what is the most surprising thing? What is the most emotional thing or the most unusual part of it? Lead with that. So practice starting your stories with a question, a bold statement, or a vivid image, for an example. Yeah, or so how can we put that into reality for you? Try this. Yeah, I'm just gonna shake something out of my bald head. I almost got chased by a wild boar last weekend. Let me tell you about how I survived. Instead of, I went hiking and I saw a boar. She doesn't even hear you talking about the boar. The only thing that she thinks is boring. Yeah? So make sure to experiment with different hooks to try to find the emotional, unusual things that you know will tickle the right emotions when you start speaking. And then notice which ones get the best reactions. Pay attention to their body language. Pay attention to her body language. If she leans in, if she tries to make eye contact, if she does both things and starts smiling, then you know you've got her hooked. Yeah? If she looks away or if she seems distracted, well, try a different approach next time. Yeah, so what are some examples to get you started? Imagine this. You are not going to believe what happened to me last night. That's a great hook. Or have you ever had a moment where you thought, okay, this is how life ends? That's a great hook. Make sure to deliver it with a smile, though, yeah? Instead of, have you ever had a moment where you thought that this is how life ends? See, the delivery is very important. The delivery is very important. When you start speaking, deliver it with energy, smile on your face. I once got lost in Paris. I heard you guys talking about Paris. I once got lost. I had no phone on me, no money. Let me tell you the story. Smile, deliver it with energy. Yeah? So those are a few examples of great hooks. Pillar number 2. Building suspense. Suspense is very important because once you've got her hooked, it is time to build suspense. Like I'm trying to enact right now. Because, look, suspense is what keeps her engaged and hanging on to your every word. It's her wanting to know what happens next. Yeah, it's the emotional engine of your story. Building suspense means revealing information gradually, dropping hints, adding pauses, creating anticipation. Evolutionary psychology tells us that suspense is tied to our survival instincts. Isn't that interesting? Our ancestors needed to pay attention to unfolding events. What was that noise in the bushes? What, was it a friend? Was it one of the tribe, or might that be a predator? Yeah. In social settings, when you know how to inject or use suspense into your stories, it will make you the center of attention, because people are hardwired to seek resolution and closure. Yeah, so suspense makes your stories more memorable. When you are able to create tension and delay the payoff, you make the emotional high, the emotional high of the punchline or the lesson that you're about to give in your amazing story, you make it even stronger. Yeah, it's the difference between, I got lost in a city once, and so there I was. My phone was dead. I had no map. I've never visited the city before. I was all alone. It was in the middle of the night. It was dark and I had no idea where to go. And every street looked the same. And then I heard these footsteps behind me. For an example, make it alive. A little bit, building suspense will make any story come alive. A story without suspense is like a joke without a setup. Yeah, that's basically it. If the joke has no setup, it's not as funny. So when you master suspense, you actually make your stories addictive. You actually make the joke funny. Yeah, she will want to hear more, and she will remember you long after the conversation ends, and her friends will know about you. She will be talking about you. So, how can you build suspense? Well, like I'm enacting right now. Slow down your delivery. Especially at key moments. Use pauses. And right after emotional highs, lower your voice. Make strong eye contact. That's how you build suspense. Drop hints about what's coming. Don't reveal everything, at once. For an example, and I was about to open the door, and then I heard like this weirdest sound from inside my hotel room. Like that alone. That builds suspense. Yeah, suspense is like, it's like you desiring to grab that girl that you really like, that's in front of you in the bedroom, but her making you wait for it a little bit, and slowly taking things off. That builds suspense. You know what I mean, right? You can also use cliffhangers, by the way. Cliffhangers, unfinished sentences, just to create that tension. And let people's imagination fill in the blanks before you deliver the next part. So what are some things that will help you build suspense? What are some lines that you can write down right now so that you don't forget it? And then, just as I thought, things could not get any weirder. And then things got weirder. Or And as I was standing there, my heart was pounding. My blood was rushing through my body. I could feel the adrenaline blasting throughout my ears. And then suddenly, instead of just saying what happened, like build up. And as I was about to leave, you will never guess who walked in at that exact moment. Instead of saying, and I was about to leave, and then, the King of the Netherlands walked in. You get my difference? Yeah? And as I was about to leave, you will never guess who walked in at that exact moment. That line builds up. That line creates that emotional tension that you are looking for. Lines like that build suspense. Pillar number 3. Use vivid language. Your language has to come alive. I actually want to add to that, show, don't tell. Facts tell, stories sell. The difference between a boring story and a captivating one is in the detail. Vivid language paints pictures in people's minds, especially in women's minds, in women's minds. It will make your story come alive. So show, don't tell. What I mean with that is use sensory details, dialogue, inject some action to immerse her into your experience, instead of just listing the facts, how we would actually speak to each other. We list the facts and then for us it's okay. When you listen to women having a conversation, what you'll notice is that it's very alive and it doesn't go anywhere throughout when we listen to it, as men. But if you want to be able to be experienced as a more charismatic guy, and you want to be, then you want to improve your storytelling skills, this is super important. You have to bring everything that you speak about alive. If that makes sense. You have to bring it alive. You have to help people go through an emotional roller coaster. You have to guide them through it. Our brains are wired to respond to sensory input. So when you describe what you saw, what you heard, what you smelt, or what you felt, it's when you do that, you activate people's imaginations and emotions, especially the women's imagination and emotions. They love this stuff. This makes your story, this makes you more memorable and way more emotionally impactful. So instead of saying, I was nervous, I stood there and I was nervous, say something like, I stood there, my feet were shaking, my palms were sweating, and my heart was pounding so loud that I thought that everybody could hear it. You know, but you're basically saying the same thing, that you were nervous. But now your package is better. Yeah, you're packaging it in a different way. Dialogue is also another very powerful tool. When you include what people actually said, you make the story way more dynamic and way more real. So for an example, so I was standing there, my feet were just glued to the ground and I could feel my feet shaking, my palms were sweating. Then that security guard looked at me and he said, "Sir, you cannot bring that in here." Yeah, so now I'm saying, like, that guy is I'm bringing in the dialogue. When you do that, you bring people right there with you. Yeah, it's as if she's right there with you. She could see what you're going through and she could hear what the security guard is saying. Vivid language makes your stories come alive. And vivid language also reveals your personality and it reveals your creativity. And it shows that you are observant. It shows that you are expressive. It shows that you are able to make an ordinary moment feel extraordinary. And this is deeply attractive. It signals social intelligence. It signals social skills and emotional depth. So how can you use vivid language? You're going to focus on 5 senses. I'm going to write them down here. You are going to write these down as well because these are fucking important. Yeah? You're going to focus on the sense, like all of your senses. What can you see? What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? What did you taste? And what did you feel? Yeah, so what did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? What did you taste? And what did you feel? From now on, every time you tell a story, you share one of your life experiences with anyone, it doesn't matter who it is, practice describing scenes of those stories, of your whatever it is that you're talking about. Describe it using vivid language, using these 5 sensory or 5 senses to make your story come alive. Practice describing scenes in great detail, even if it feels exaggerated at first. It will feel uncomfortable for you to do because you're not used to it. Yeah, but you want to improve, you want to become better, you want to become more charismatic, more interesting to the ladies, more attractive. So you're going to have to become a great storyteller. This pillar number 3, using vivid language, is very important. Use metaphors, use smiles, yeah, to make your descriptions more colorful. Like instead of, yeah, like for an example, we were standing on a bridge and we could see the city lights. It was beautiful. Instead of saying that, you could say, we were standing on the bridge. I could feel a gentle breeze of the wind as I stood there, and the city lights looked like 1,000 fireflies. Have you ever seen fireflies? No, you haven't. See, it already brings things alive. Yeah? Practice, show, don't tell. Yeah, by acting out parts of your story, by using gestures, facial expressions, changes in your voice from high to low. Yeah, all of those things will help you to bring your life story alive. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, what else do I need to say? Does this make sense? So what are some sentences that I can come up with that can help you going? Instead of saying it was raining, I was walking outside and it was raining. Yeah, I just said two facts. Let's come up with something clever here. So I was walking outside, and the air was thick with the smell of rain, and every step echoed on the empty street. For an example, yeah? Or I was so scared I almost dropped my phone. You could say, I was scared so badly. My hands were shaking so much. See, now I'm adding a little bit more vivid language. I almost dropped my phone. For an example. Yeah, so I hope you understand this. It's very important. You have to practice it. It will feel unnatural in the beginning. But hey, growth is always unnatural. It's always a step outside of your comfort zone. Pillar number 4. Tone variety. Vary your tone and use your body language. Like, that's a killer combination. If you vary your tone and use your body language, I mean, your voice and your body seem like instruments. They are your instruments. The way you use them make your stories 10 times more engaging. So varying your tone, your speed, your volume, your pitch, that's what keeps people's attention. That's what conveys emotion. Yeah, body language, gestures. You see me using gestures continuously. Can you imagine me just standing here, like a wooden board, not using any gestures, not using any facial expressions, not using my posture, and worse even, speaking in a very monotonous way. Yeah, this is what we do in Holland and in Western Europe. We speak from the throat. We don't inject any emotion. We only share facts, and we don't use any facial expressions either. It feels really awkward to me. Yeah, so using gestures, using facial expressions, using your body language, using your posture, differences in posture, that all of those add visual layers that make your story more dynamic and more believable. And we know from evolutionary psychology that expressive communication is a sign of social intelligence and leadership. People who can use their voice and body to command attention are seen as more confident, as more interesting, as more charismatic, as more socially dominant, as more socially intelligent. And women specifically are highly attuned to these cues. Why? Because they signal emotional intelligence and social intelligence and the ability to lead and entertain a group. Which is why, gentlemen, I keep pounding on you and blasting on you. Forget dating apps. If you want to become a better dater, if you want to be able to captivate her, take her to social. You have to meet people in social environments. And don't do your dates one-on-one. Bring her to lively social events. It doesn't have to be a club, but somewhere where you can display your social intelligence, your social skills. Because women are hardwired to look at your social skills, to read your social skills, and take the information that's needed for her to find you attractive. They come from your social, you being social and you sending out indirect signals to her that tell her a lot about you. They all come from your social, like you being social. How do you talk to people? How do they respond to you? How do you react to other people moving around you? How do her friends respond to you? How do they react to you? Like all of these signs tell her a lot about you. You cannot accomplish it by sitting across a table from each other and asking boring questions. So what do you do? Where are you from? What kind of work do you do? What kind of music do you like? What kind of pizza is your favorite? You're not communicating. You're communicating with words, but you're not communicating what she needs to find you attractive. You're not communicating in a way that tickles her emotions and make her feel the click and want to see you again. That's why you need to be in a social setting so you can communicate on deeper levels. And that's why you want to become a better communicator and a great storyteller. Because you have to develop yourself. And look, monotone delivery and stiff posture, for an example, are instant attraction killers. Most guys are monotone when they speak, if they speak at all, because most guys have nothing to say. Yeah, which is another reason why you should get your ass out of the house and into social lives and start living life so you actually become a little bit life wise. Yeah, but they have monotone delivery and they have stiff posture. Just go to a bar. Sit in a dark corner to hide yourself from everyone else, if that's what you really want to, hide from others, and watch. Watch how most guys are stiff. Yeah, so if you speak in the same tone continuously, yeah, in the same tone, or you stand frozen because you're so in your head that you don't know what to say or to communicate that you are actually relaxed, you will lose her interest. No matter how good your story is, no matter how nice you are, yeah, no matter how, like you could literally be her dream man, you will lose her interest, no matter how good your story is. On the other hand, when you lean in and release, when you gesture, let your face show emotion, when you draw her in, and not just her, but also her friends, when you make everybody feel what you are feeling, you will draw people in. You will grab and hold their interest. Look, this will not come easy. Yeah, you have to put some work in, but mastering your tone, mastering your body language, helps you to control the energy of the interaction. You can build excitement, you can create intimacy, you can add humor just by changing how you move or how you sound. Yeah, so look, this is a great way of how you can develop this further. Practice reading stories or jokes out loud. Exaggerate your voice just for effect. Speed up during exciting parts. Slow down for suspense, remember? Or lower your voice for intimacy. Use pauses to let important moments sink in. That's how you make your stories come alive. For body language, practice telling stories in front of a mirror. Yes, you will feel stupid doing so. But if you feel stupid when looking at yourself, can you imagine how other people feel when they look at you? Yeah, so notice how your gestures and facial expressions match your words. Use your hands to illustrate certain actions. Use your face to show emotion. Add posture to convey confidence instead of standing hunched over. Lean in at times. Make eye contact to pull people in. Use your voice when sharing a story. And use it like this to create a little bit more intimacy. Use gestures to describe something big or something dramatic. Smile, raise your eyebrows, use playful expressions, add humor, add warmth. All of these will help to tickle people's senses. What did you see? What did you hear? How did you smell? What did you smell? What did you taste? How did you feel? Don't just talk about it. Communicate it using everything that you have, using your tonality, using your body language. It's important. It's very important if you want to become a more charismatic man. Let's go to the last pillar, pillar number 5. You better write these down, guys, or I will slap you. End with a punchline, end with a lesson, or end with a reflection. End with a punchline, end with a lesson, or end with a reflection. A great story needs a strong ending. The punchline, the lesson, or the reflection is what makes your story memorable, and it actually gives it meaning. Yeah, because why are you sharing that specific story? It's the emotional payoff for the suspense that you've built. Yeah, see it like this. A weak ending can make the best story fall flat. Yeah, it's like you building up. Yeah, you're trying to tell a joke. You're building up. Everything is great. But then the ending sucks. You think that people want to hear more after that? No. But a strong ending leaves people wanting more, will leave her wanting more. And we know from evolutionary psychology that stories back in the day and still, were used to teach lessons. We still do that. They were used to share wisdom. They were used to bond social groups together. So the ending is where you reveal the purpose of your story. It's, whether it's to make her laugh, whether it's to share a lesson, or whether it's to invite her to reflect on something deeper. When you end your story like that, that's like your mic drop moment. It's like your great ending. It's where people go like, ah, amazing. And that's what makes you memorable. Yeah, a punchline, for an example, is perfect for funny stories. Yeah, it's the twist or the surprise that makes people laugh, that makes her laugh, and makes them remember you. A reflection or a lesson works for more serious or more meaningful, emotionally meaningful stories. Yeah, it shows that you are either thoughtful or self-aware, and that you are able to learn from your experiences. See it like this: the ending is also your chance to invite her into the story. Yeah, it's a great moment to invite her into your story, because you could ask her what she would have done. You could ask her if she has ever experienced something similar. And that little detail turns your story into a shared experience, and it will deepen the connection. It will pull her in. Yeah, I actually put some thought into this. So how can you trigger this? Yeah, how can you trigger this the right way? To craft a strong ending, think about the main point, or better yet, think about the emotion that you want to leave with her when you're done with your story. And practice delivering your punchline or lesson doing exactly that. And practice delivering it with confidence. Yeah, don't rush it. Every now and then, pause for effect, make eye contact, yeah, and let her react. If your story is funny, you will have to land the punchline with energy, yeah, and with timing. If it's meaningful, share your reflection and invite her to share hers. And the more you practice, the more natural and impactful your endings will become. Yeah, so what are some great, let me try to think of two or three great endings of a story to give you an idea. And that is how I ended up in Paris dancing at midnight with the grandmother of a guy I just met, who's now my best friend. How amazing is that? For an example, yeah, that could be an ending of your story. Or, let's take a now, the lesson here was always double check your parachute before you jump out of an airplane. Yeah, that's like the lesson. Or reflection. Have you ever had a moment like that where everything went wrong, but you still would not change a thing? That's a great that's a great reflection. Yeah? So there you go. Do I have any more to add? I don't think so. Look, delivering stories with impact is a skill that you can develop if you practice. Yeah, and the more you work on your delivery, the more natural and the more confident you will become. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, this is how you do that. First, practice telling your stories in front of a mirror. Or if you have any friends, better yet, if you have any friends who have kids, read them stories from a book. It's like kids are amazing for this. Then focus on your pacing, focus on your tone, focus on your body language. Notice where you either lose energy or get stuck, and experiment with different kinds of ways to make your stories more engaging. Instead of just, for an example, when you're in front of kids, just reading the lines, try to bring it alive. Try out different hooks, build suspense, use vivid language, and ask people for honest feedback. And especially with kids, if you read a story and they demand of you that you read them another one, that is great feedback. It's very honest feedback. The second thing that you can do is when you do so, when you read a story or when you practice your story, it doesn't matter where, grab your phone and press on record. Record yourself telling your stories. Then listen back and pay attention to your voice, your energy, your timing. And notice if you're speaking too fast, too slow, or too monotone. Are you using enough pauses? Are your gestures and facial expressions adding to the story, bringing it alive? And use these recordings to identify areas for improvement and track your progress. Important. And thirdly, I would say, you're going to have to experiment in real social settings. Use your stories. Use your stories at parties, birthday parties, dates, casual conversations. It doesn't matter, but pay attention to the reactions that you get. Do people lean in? Do they laugh? Do they ask questions? Do they want to know more if you decide to jump to a different storyline? But what happened? You know what? And this is great feedback as well. When the girls that you are talking to, like for an example, you are with a bigger social group, and there's always this one guy that wants to take over and wants to become the center point in that social setting. If the girls in that social setting tell him to shut up because they're listening to you, that's great feedback. Like, shh, no, go away. Well, what happened? What happened? Now you know that you got their attention. And the more you practice, the more you will develop your own style, and you will become more confident with it. And, well, you have to see it like this, man. Sharing stories is like, it's a performance. But it's a performance that you will do naturally. So have fun with it. Don't be afraid to take risks and take steps outside of your comfort zone. So practice your stories in front of the mirror. Focus on your facial expressions, your gestures. Record yourself. Listen for areas where you can add more energy, more suspense, more vivid details. And use your stories in real life conversations. That's where you practice the real deal. So let's go through it one more time. I hope you have written this down. Practice delivering your stories with impact. How? By adding a great hook. Look, delivering your stories with impact will help you to be seen as socially more intelligent and more interesting and more charismatic. So you have to master these 5 pillars. The hook, building suspense, using vivid language. See, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? What did you taste? What did you feel? Use your body language. Use variations in your tonality. And end with a great punchline, a lesson, or an amazing reflection. And practice these skills. When you do so, you will stand out in any social setting, and especially on dates, brother, especially on dates, you will be the guy that she will want to see again. And every time you tell a story without energy, without suspense, or without a strong ending, you will miss out on a chance to make a real deep impression. Yeah, the men who master storytelling, they are the men who are the ones who get noticed, who get remembered, and who get chosen. Yeah, so don't let your stories fall flat. Make them unforgettable. And remember Max, the guy that we started this training off with. Once he learned to deliver his stories with impact, he became the man that everybody wanted to listen to. He was no longer invisible. He was magnetic. And you can do the same thing. So if you are ready to become a charismatic storyteller, start practicing these pillars and start today. Use the actionable steps, record your progress, and challenge yourself to make every story count. Every story, okay? Because you have to understand that charisma, being charismatic, it isn't luck, it's a skill. So master the art of storytelling and you will transform not just your dating life, but you will transform every social interaction that you will ever be in. Yeah? The world is waiting to hear your story, so make it unforgettable. Please like, please share, please leave a comment if you found any value in this training, in this masterclass. I will appreciate you for it. Make sure to knock on the door of our online community. It's going faster and faster. We have more and more people from different countries joining our community, where we host free trainings on a weekly basis, where you can ask your questions, where you can connect with brothers from different countries. It's free. You're more than welcome to join. And don't forget to plug into the next training next week. Brother, I love you, and I will see you there.